and seeing how tiny Everest was compared to these like giant majestic trees.
And it's literally a spot that is right on the sand. You open up your door and you're looking out over the ocean.
He was totally hypnotized by these jellyfish.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe we slept 9 people inside our tiny house on wheels.
It's like a 2-level bus that you take that takes you around the entire park. This video is going to be a little bit different from what we normally do because in California, unfortunately, we were victims of something that happens commonly in the San Francisco Bay Area, and that is a car theft. Our car was broken into and all of our gear was stolen. Every single thing that you could imagine that we were taking videos and pictures on, it was all gone. But we're still going to bring you some amazing stuff that we did in California.
And we were there for 2 months. It was a long time. It was our longest stay easily. It probably will be for a while. After we lost all this stuff, we still feel like we wanted to learn the lifestyle. We were still super brand new at finding places, staying at places, getting used to living in this smaller space. It was nice to film some of our growing pains, to share with you guys, but we felt like it would have been disingenuous to try and do that while adjusting to this lifestyle. We really just wanted kind of our own time to see if we liked it.
Take everything in,
have experiences as a family. And then as we grew, we could get the camera out and start doing this. So we did lose a lot of footage from the theft, but at the same time, we didn't have the camera out as much either. So because of those things, we want to call this like our 2-month California
Top 5.
Yeah.
One of my absolute favorite things in California, anywhere you go in California, you can kind of find bits and pieces of it, is the Muir Woods in Northern California. We went on some incredible hikes in this area and it was just so beautiful. We just really loved doing this with Evie and we were together and it was just so fun and so beautiful. Like no matter where you go in this area, it just feels really peaceful and calming. We did one hike, I think it's called the Hike of 1,000 Stairs or something like that, but it's stairs that go up and then go down through the woods and you just get all of these amazing views, and Evie had a ton of fun on them. And I love the Muir Woods because my sister actually is the one that introduced me to them, and she just has this like huge passion for the Muir Woods, and I think she's John Muir reincarnated or something. But I definitely loved going here and just seeing like all the beauty and the nature and how close the proximity is to not only San Francisco, but to the ocean. It's just beautiful and these trees are so majestic. That was one of my favorite things. Again, kind of seeing through the eyes of Evie.
Frozen in time.
And seeing how tiny Everest was compared to these like giant majestic trees was just really fun to see, and definitely one of my favorite parts of our trip to California.
So at a certain point, we had done the mountains of California, some of the cities of California, but this next spot we think was our absolute favorite, and it was called Thornhill Broom Beach. It's literally a spot that is right on the sand. You open up your door and you're looking out over the ocean. This wasn't like a populated area where you've got like Venice Beach behind you or anything. It was out in North Malibu. There's nothing around but that coastal highway, and tucked right behind you in the mountains are all of these hills for like hiking and running. It is considered a camping site, but there weren't any hookups. There was no, water plugged in. It pretty much was like a off-grid spot. But again, in California, they control a lot of the state parks and everything. It just felt like this paradisical spot where we could just make dinner, walk outside, be on the beach at the sunset. Like a typical day in the life at this spot would be wake up, have breakfast, throw the ball to the dogs along the shoreline, build a sandcastle with Everest, do a little bit of work, go on a hike or a run, like in this beautiful mountainscape overlooking the ocean, and then relax in the evening. think we were at our very best when we were at Thornhill Broom. And we even had family come and stay with us. I think every single day we just saw like a pod of dolphins go by. It just almost seemed like a joke.
Something that I absolutely loved while we were in California were all the animals that we got to see. So we got to do the top 2 most iconic animal-related things in California, which was the Monterey Bay Aquarium, and of course the San Diego Zoo. I'll start off with the aquarium. It is definitely everything and more that they tell you. It is huge. You can see every type of ocean water creature. I felt like I was in Finding Dory. Evie was totally mesmerized. All the different fish, squid, octopus, whales, and I feel like we didn't even see half of it. One of like the top parts in the Monterey Bay Aquarium was this area where you go in and see all of the jellyfish, and you would kind of think, okay, like jellyfish, nothing too exciting, but they have them in a way where when you walk in, the room is dark. Each of like the enclosures for the jellyfish are like these large tanks, and they have the jellyfish backlit, and then the area around you is dark, and it's totally mesmerizing. It's amazing. All of us froze, but particularly Everest was like up against the glass. He was totally hypnotized by these jellyfish. I mean, everybody was. And it was just incredible to watch how they swirled around and they were backlit. It didn't look real. It looked like you were watching some kind of alien life form.
Look at that. The diversity of life is amazing.
For sure a pricey place to go, but it was definitely worth it, and kind of like one of those once in a lifetime things that you have to see. And of course, the San Diego Zoo, you can't go wrong. We took one break and took the bus. It's like a 2-level bus that you take that takes you around the entire park so that you can kind of see things from a different vantage point. And that was definitely a welcome break, and super great to be able to see a lot more of the park quicker than just walking around. But as we walked around, we got to see so many things. We got to see the elephants. If you guys know us personally, you know that elephants are Evie's favorite thing in the world. Giraffes, every kind of animal. We do kind of feel like we got gypped a little bit though, because I feel like all the animals were asleep the whole time we were there. The San Diego Zoo obviously is a must-see when you go to California, which I feel like I don't even have to say that, but I love animals. Oh my gosh, you can see its little head. Blake does too, and Everest does too. So it was a perfect location for us to go, and both the aquarium and the San Diego Zoo were everything that they're chalked up to be, and 100% worth visiting if you are in either one of those areas in California, or like us, if you're gonna happen to be in both of those areas.
When we were putting our heads together and ultimately taking the leap to live this lifestyle, one of the major benefits that we saw was, well, if we're on the move, we have lots of friends and family around. I think that was really one of our favorite elements to California, was being able to run into a ton of friends and family up and down the state. In Los Angeles, one of my best childhood friends that I'd grown up with, his whole family moved there, and we got to spend time with them. His mother has breast cancer, Kimberly, we love you. And when we're bouncing around, we often run into friends that's just not planned, where fate just kind of brings us together. We were up in Tahoe and we ran into Julianne. At the San Diego Zoo, we ran into another friend, Kira. And at Disneyland, we ran into, some of our friends, the Merrills. So being on the move, you get to meet people, with these amazing stories that you wouldn't have otherwise, and we get to run into friends and family that we had no plans of doing. Once we came down through Northern California, we actually got to spend almost a week at one of my best friends' family's place. And that was great because we kind of got to just like hang out in a family home for a little bit and kick our feet back. And plus that's where we had Halloween, and Everest got to be little Miguel from Coco, which was absolutely adorable.
It's how you walk.
No, I don't. Stop it!
At the pinnacle of meeting friends and family on this journey, for Thanksgiving, instead of going to like a home base with a house, somehow we got family to agree to coming to our house. If I'm not mistaken, I believe we slept 9 people inside our tiny house on wheels. There's a front bed in our bus that comes down, and my brother and sister-in-law and their little one India stayed there. Our dinette turns into a little couch, and that's where my mom slept. We slept in our bed, Aleja and I. Everest was up in his loft. Aleja's parents, Mike and Pilar, were in our converted garage space on a blow-up mattress. You know, a big part of Aleja and my journey is being with our loved ones and our friends and our family, and we love to host. Although we don't have a house anymore, I guess we still love to host. For those of you that will continue to run into on the way, that's a big reason why we do this. California, for that reason, was an awesome part of this journey.
The next video is probably gonna be me giving birth or something.
Yeah, if any of you are wondering where we are in pregnancy, this is it.
And coming in at number 5, Disneyland.
This wasn't just we're in LA, let's go to Disneyland because we're here. There's massive context behind why we went. For the last probably like 6 months, Everest has been on the biggest Mickey Mouse kick. And he doesn't even call him Mickey Mouse still. Even though he can, he still calls him.
He knows it's Mickey Mouse,
He calls him Muka Mika. And that's because at the beginning of the Clubhouse show, Mickey says, Mishka, Mushka.
Mishka, Muska.
So he's Muka Mika. If you see Everest for 10 seconds, you'll be able to spot 10 Mickeys. His table, his shoes, his clothes, his pajamas, Muka Mika.
Muka Mika.
So naturally, right around his birthday, when we were planning on being in Southern California, and on his birthday, we wanted him to have a magical Muka Mika experience.
Of course, it's day 1 to the park. We're getting there. We're getting there a little bit late because I had to pick up my scooter. I have an excuse for having a scooter, okay? It's not just because I'm lazy. I had just gotten an umbilical hernia the week before. We're rolling into the park, or I'm rolling, everyone else is walking into the park. And who do we see as the first person in the park? Of course, it's Goofy and Mickey. And I absolutely lost it. We've talked about this before in our videos. Seeing things through Everest's eyes have made all of our experiences just so much more elevated and amazing that I felt like I was seeing Muka Mika for the first time, and he loves Goofy, and I just felt like I was taking part of it. And so of course, pregnant mom seeing her son see his favorite thing, I was bawling. And it was incredible.
And speaking of, for me, I'd always like growing up, like I want to go on the biggest ride, the fastest thing, you know, speed and extreme. And so there's parts of Disneyland that were like never attractive to me. But since having Everest, I was like, can I go on Dumbo with Evie? And the space place, it's what's called Space Town? Tomorrowland. Refer to Michael Schnell, my brother-in-law, if you need any insight on the park.
Yeah.
It's very extensive.
Lots of people told us, like, you know, he's 2. First of all, he's not gonna remember this. Second of all, like, what are you gonna do about naps? He's gonna be so irritated. You know, there's gonna be meltdowns, you know, taking 2 toddlers to Disneyland for the first time.
I had the meltdown.
Yeah, I think I had more meltdowns than anyone else. We ate so much food. We had so much fun. It was so great having family there, and just no regrets. It really was just amazing. I wanted to go right back.
When you go as a family, like, get ready for a Disney nightmare, and it wasn't at all.
No.
We lucked out, so we're 1 for 1. Maybe we should leave it at that until next time.